Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back to the class of International Financial Management. Dear students, as we go further, our topics, our lectures become tougher and tougher. So, you are supposed to study hard and concentrate more on the explanation of lectures. Dear students, today is our 12th lecture of the International Financial Management. Today we will discuss the measuring exposure to exchange rate fluctuations, or to measure the risk of exchange rate fluctuations. Dear students, why we are connected with the exchange rate? In every lecture, we discuss somewhat topics of exchange rates because our subject is international financial management. So our concentration is more on the exchange rate risk. Every multinational corporation is faced with the exchange rate movements or variabilities. Why? Because they are multinational corporations. These corporations operate in more than one country or more than two countries in the world. Either they receive cash from other countries or they pay cash to another countries, to foreign countries. So this receivables and payables to foreign countries will be affected by the exchange rate movements or variabilities. Every multinational corporation faced with these kind of risks, these kinds of losses. Which losses? Which are related to the fluctuation of exchange rate or movements of exchange rate. And what is exposure to exchange rate or risk to exchange rate? It is broadly defined as the risk that a company's performance will be affected by exchange rate movements. Before I told you that every organization, not only single organization, every multinational organization is affected by the exchange rate movements or variabilities. Now what's exposure to exchange rate? Exposure to exchange rate is a risk that a company's performance will be affected by exchange rate variabilities. So since exchange rate movement can affect a multinational corporation's cash flows. And what are cash flows? Payables and receivables. Cash flows are cash inflows and outflows. And cash inflow means receivables and cash outflow means payables to the foreign countries. So exchange rate movement affect the multinational corporations payables and receivables are cash flows. They can affect on multinational corporations performance and value. This movement, this fluctuation, this variability in exchange rate will affect the organizations, the multinational corporations performance as well as value. Value will also decrease or increase, and the performance of organization also increase or decrease by the exchange rate fluctuations. Exchange rate movements are volatile. We better know about that. It's very volatile. The most volatile thing in the world is exchange rate. Therefore, every multinational corporation can have a substantial impact on cash flows of the multinational corporations. And multinational corporations closely monitor their operations to determine how they are exposed to various forms of exchange rate risk. And every financial manager of the multinational corporations must understand how to measure the exposure of their multinational corporations to exchange rate fluctuations. So this is the exchange rate fluctuation. Broadly, the simple discussion of exchange rate fluctuation is that the exchange rate fluctuations will affect the cash flows of a multinational corporations. Why? Because when they engage in the foreign payments and foreign receivables, so these foreign payments and foreign receivables will be affected by the movements in exchange rate or fluctuations in exchange rate. So let's start with the chapter objectives. It's a lengthy chapter. In these lectures, we will discuss the relevance of multinational corporations exposure to exchange rate risk. We will explain how transactions exposure can be measured. We will explain also how economic exposure can be measured and how transaction exposure can be measured. In today's lecture, in lecture 12, we only discuss, I think it's lecture 12 or 13, 12. We only discuss the transaction exposure of the exchange rate fluctuation. The remaining two parts are translation and economic exposures will be discussed in lecture 13. So the first topic of today's lecture is the relevance of exchange rate risk. Relevance of the exchange rate means that how the exchange rate risk or how the exchange rate losses are relevant to the different or particular organizations or investors. So there are different arguments regarding the relevance of exchange rate risk. The first argument is purchasing power parity argument. Recall from the previous lectures, we discussed the purchasing power parity. In this argument, most of the investors and multinational corporations believe that exchange rate movements will be matched by price movement. And what is price? Price is inflation. They say that this argument say that if there is inflation, so the exchange rate movement will be measured or find out by the inflation of that country. If there is inflation, there is more volatility in the exchange rate. If there is stable inflation, so there is stability of the exchange rate movements. So this argument say that there is a direct relationship between the exchange rate movement and price or inflation. But this argument is not necessarily hold in the world. This type of argument is very low. Most of the organizations do not believe on this argument. They say that there is not only inflation that affect the price that affect the exchange rate movement. There are a lot of other things, a lot of other factors that will affect the exchange rate movement. So it's only one argument regarding the relevance of exchange rate risk. There is another argument is regarding the investors hedge argument. Investors also argue about the relevance of exchange rate risk. What is their argument? They say that multinational corporations shareholders can hedge against exchange rate fluctuations on their own. The individual shareholders, individual investors also can hedge their exchange rate fluctuations on their own. Multinational corporations will not help the shareholders to hedge their exchange rate risk. They will hedge their own exchange rate risk by their own. If we compare the individual investor with the multinational corporations, individual investors will not have complete information about or regarding the exchange rate fluctuations. Here comes the symmetry information. Symmetry information means that the as compared to the multinational corporation, an individual investor or shareholder will not have accurate information, complete information regarding the fluctuation of exchange rate. Multinational corporations have more information regarding the fluctuation of exchange rate. So the individual investor may not have complete information on corporate exposure, so they may not have the capability to correctly insulate their individual exposure to. So individual investor, individual shareholder will not have ability, will not have capability to correctly, to completely, to accurately save their risks from the exchange rate movements. So this is another argument regarding the relevance of exchange rate risk. The next argument regarding the relevance of exchange rate is currency diversification argument. From the name it denotes that. From the name it explains that every multinational corporation is multinational corporation means that they operate more than two countries. Their operations are more than two countries. It means that multinational corporations receivables and payables are in more than two countries. Their cash flows are related to more than two countries. So it is diversified. For example, if a multinational corporations receives cash from the one country and it will affect risk to them, it will affect losses to them, so this loss will be offsetted, this loss will be equalized with another country's profit because they diversified their currencies. They also purchase or sell their products from Pakistan. They also purchase or sell their products from Afghanistan, from India, from other countries. So if there is loss from Pakistan, so this loss will be hedged with the profit of Afghanistan. If there is loss in Afghanistan, so that loss will be hedged, that loss will be offset with the profit of India. If there is loss in India, so that loss will be offset with the Afghanistan's profit. So this is called diversification argument regarding exchange rate risk, and not this loss is related from the product, from the market, from the economy. So this risk or loss is related only to the exchange rate movement. So if the organization, if the multinational corporation is negatively affected, it means there is a loss from the fluctuation, the currency of Pakistan, so they will be offset, they will equalize, they will cover or hedge this loss with the fluctuations of the exchange rate of Afghanistan. So the multinational corporations that are well diversified should not be affected by exchange rate movements. This is another argument which denotes, which explains the relevance of exchange rate risk, that if any multinational corporation is well diversified, so this well diversification will not affect the exchange rate movements because of offsetting effects. So this is a new presumption. It's a very humble presumption, very low level presumption. Most of the times this argument will not work for the organizations. Diversification of currency will not work for the organizations. They will face losses, they will face risk from the different countries. But there is an argument that if a organization, if a multinational corporation is well diversified, so they will offset their risk, their losses from the exchange rate movements by this diversification. So there is another argument that is related to the relevance of exchange rate risk, is stakeholders diversification argument. And who is stakeholder? Stakeholders are the internal and external direct related persons who are related to the multinational corporations. And the most specific stakeholders are shareholders and creditors. Financial institutions who provide funds to the organizations, they are creditors, and shareholders who directly purchase the stocks of the specific multinational corporations, they are stockholders. So this argument is related to the stockholders and creditors diversification. What does it mean? Financial institutions are credit providers, are not only provide the funds to a specific multinational corporations. They will provide funds to different multinational corporations. So if there is loss from the exchange rate movements from a specific MNC, so they will diversify this loss to another multinational corporations. So this is the stakeholders diversification argument. As well as, for example, a stockholder, a shareholder of a specific organization is not only the stockholder or shareholder of a particular organization. He will purchase the stocks or shares of different organizations. So if there is a loss from the exchange rate movement from a particular organization, so they will offset, the stockholder or shareholder will offset this loss with another organization's stock or profit. So this is called stakeholders diversification argument. Well diversified stakeholder will be somewhat insulated against losses experienced by multinational corporations due to exchange rate risk. They will offset, they will save their losses from one particular or specific multinational corporation, so they will cover this loss from another multinational corporation's profit. So MNCs may be affected in the same way because of exchange rate risk. How the multinational corporations respond to this relevance? Many multinational corporations have attempted to stabilize their earnings with hedging strategies, and you better know about the hedging strategies. We discussed the hedging strategies such as forward contracts. They purchase forward contracts, they purchase future contracts, options. These are the hedging strategies. So when they involved in the hedging strategies, so this involvement of hedging strategies show that there is relevance of the exchange rate risk. Why they purchase future contracts? Why they purchase forward contracts? Because there is relevance. There is relevancy of the exchange rate risk, which confirms that the view that exchange rate is relevant. So these were the answers that in the start of the lecture I told you why we are engaged, why we are more engaged in the exchange rate, because multinational corporations are faced with the cash flows of different countries. So there are different arguments. So these arguments confirm that there is a relevancy of the exchange rate risk for the multinational corporations. Now we will discuss the types of exposures, the types of risks which are related to the exchange rate movements. Although exchange rates cannot be forecasted with perfectly accuracy, it's not forecasted. Although every organization has a active management strategies, active information regarding the market, but still they are not able to accurately forecast the exchange rate. But multinational corporations can at least measure their exposure to exchange rate fluctuations, means risk to exchange rate fluctuations. They can find out, they can measure their exchange rate risk only, not exchange rate movement. It's very difficult, it's very tough, it's a very hard topic for the organizations that they cannot measure the accurate fluctuation of the exchange rate, but they are able to find out or measure the exchange rate risk, only risk which is involved with the exchange rate movement. So this exposure, this risk is measured on the basis of these three categories. The first category is transaction exposure, the second category is economic exposure, and the third category is translation exposure. So today we only discuss the transaction exposure, the economic exposure, and the translation exposure will be discussed in the lecture 13. So let's start with the transaction exposure. Again, the name denotes that it's related to the cash flows. Transaction means cash flow. Every transaction is done by cash. Either you purchase something, pay for that thing, or you sell something in the market and get cash against those sales. So this is transaction. So what are transaction risk? What are transaction exposure? The degree to which the value of future cash transactions can affected by exchange rate fluctuations. It's a degree of value of the future cash transactions. Future cash transactions means payables and receivables. These payables and receivables are affected by the exchange rate fluctuations. This is called transaction exposure. And this transaction exposure is measured by the project the net amount of inflows or outflows in each foreign currency. It's a one method you can project the amount of inflows and outflows of a foreign country. Each foreign country will be projected. Every organization must project the net amount of cash inflows and outflows of a foreign country. And the second method, determine the overall risk of exposure to those currencies. One is between two countries and one is overall risk, which is related to the foreign currencies. Transaction exposure, multinational corporations can usually anticipate foreign cash flows for an upcoming short period of time with reasonable accuracy. Every organization anticipate that there must be foreign cash flows for them. And how these foreign cash flows will be for them? By the transaction. They sell or purchase raw material from the foreign countries or sell their finished products in the foreign countries. And this is for a short period of time. So after the consolidated net currency flows for the entire MNC has been determined, each net flow is converted into either a point estimate or a range of chosen currency. Either you choose a specific currency or you will choose whole cash flows, convert whole cash flows to the point estimate, so as to standardize the exposure assessment for each currency. Why? Because you find out or you assess the risk for the each currency. Multinational corporations' overall exposure can be assessed by considering each currency position together with the currency's variability and correlation. The variability of the two countries are find out by the correlation of those two countries. And this correlation means that how two currencies are correlated with each other. And correlation is a statistical technique. Correlation is a statistical technique by which we find out the relationship between two variables. And now in this concept, the correlation is relationship between the two currencies. So by this correlation, we find out the risk related to the two countries. The standard deviation statistic. We better know the standard deviation is a method which shows the risk of a currency. And this standard deviation is found out by this historical data. Serves as one measure of currency variability. Note that currency variability level may change over time. So we cannot stabilizely find out the variability. This variability will change over time. The correlation among currency movement can be measured by their correlation coefficient. The correlation of two countries will be measured by the coefficient of those two currencies, which indicate the degree to which two currencies move in relation to each other. For example, if the currency movement between Pakistan and Afghanistan is perfectly positive correlated, it means that perfectly positive correlated means that if there is appreciation of currency of Pakistan, there is also appreciation of currency of Afghanistan. If there is depreciation of currency of Pakistan, there is also depreciation of currency of Afghanistan. It means that both currencies, Pakistan currency and Afghanistan currency, are positively, perfectly positively correlated with each other, and this is denoted by 1, positive 1. If there is no correlation between the Pakistan currency and Afghanistan currency, either moves any direction of the Afghanistan currency, there is no effect on the Pakistan's currency. So it is denoted by the 0. There is no correlation. If there is perfectly negative correlation between two currencies, it denotes that it is denoted by -1. It shows that if there is appreciation of Pakistan currency, there is depreciation in Afghanistan currency. So it is negatively correlated with each other. If there is depreciation of Pakistan currency, so there is appreciation of Afghanistan currency. They move inverse with each other. These currencies move inverse with each other. So this is a method of finding out the exposure of the currencies. The point in considering correlation is to detect a position that could somewhat offset each other. So this is why they find out, why they consider the correlation coefficient of two countries, two currencies, because they detect position that somewhat they offset with each other. Offset with each other the risk or the losses which are related to the movement of exchange rate. So this losses will be offset with each other. For example, if currencies X and Y are highly correlated, mean positively, perfectly positively correlated with each other, so the exposure of a net X inflow and a net Y outflow will be offset with each other to a certain degree. To a certain degree, not perfectly, not 100% they are offsetted, they are equalized, but to a certain degree. Note that the correlation among currencies may change over time. This may be possible. If there is a positive correlation between Pakistan and Afghanistan currency, but after some period of time, this positive correlation will become negative correlation. So this correlation will also change over time. A related method is also available for the measurement of exchange rate exposure, that is value at risk method, VAR method. It incorporates currency volatility and correlation to determine the potential maximum one-day loss. It's also related to the correlation, but it's specifically one-day losses. They offset one-day losses by the method of value at risk. So it's specifically related to the one-day losses. It's also correlation. It's also correlation coefficient. It's also the variability between two countries. It's also relationship between two currencies, but specifically on the one-day losses. And in this method, we also find out the correlation coefficient of two currencies by historical data, which is used to determine the potential one-day decline in a particular currency. So this decline is then applied to the net cash flows in that currency. So this was your today's lecture. So we will discuss the translation exposure and economic exposure in the lecture 13. I hope you got plenty of knowledge, enough knowledge regarding the measuring exposure to exchange rate fluctuations, that what are the exchange rate fluctuations and how we measure the exchange rate variability to offset the losses from the currency movements. So this was your today's lecture. Have a nice time, have a good time. Thank you so much.